Hi, I'm Shoddy, and today we're gonna play Betrayal at Krondor, Episode 1. This game says on GOG that it's from 1997. That sounds right to me. I think the menu says 1993 for some reason. That's maybe just the developer copyright or something. Well, I played this game on CD in MS-DOS and probably Windows 95 way back in the day. And it was fun, so let's go through it. It's part of a book series by Raymond E. Feast. I have a few of his books. I like them. And there's going to be a lot of reading in this game. So yeah, it says 1993 dynamics. I think that's maybe just when he wrote the book then, or I'm not sure. We have the cat cam again today. One of these days we'll have a face cam and a cat cam set up. I have them, but it's not set up. Start a new game. Gonna be a lot of reading for me. Chapter 1, Into a Dark Night. Blood-soaked rags collected at the boy's feet. One by one he tended the wincing soldier's purple wounds. Stitched, salved, bandaged, did what little he could in the leaping golden halo of firelight. Fortunately for his roadside patient, he could do more than most. Fingers slicked with alum ointment, he worked fervently to tie off a catgut cord, then brushed the injury with a light touch that to the untrained eye would only seem a friendly pat. Others would recognize the telltale hand gesture as a magical ward against infection. Done, Owen sighed, wiping his hand in a rust-colored cloth. No guarantees, though. The stitches may hold all the way to Lamut, and then again, push too hard and you could be bleeding like a stuck pig on Midsummer's. You did fine. Oh boy, that's a word. Senor? Yeah, okay. You did fine, Senor Locklear replied, smiling approval before rolling down his sleeve. It'll scar, but it's good for a noble's reputation. Lets the kingdom folk know he isn't resting on his laurels, and it impresses the lady. I'll be sure to look you up in Tiber if I ever need stitching up again. The boy accepted the compliment with a humble nod while he packaged away the rest of his medical supplies. His thoughts focused instead on a third man who slumped in the shadows away from them. Despite the manacles that bound the stranger's hand and the distance that separated them, the boy felt dreadfully exposed. His avenues of escape limited, should Locklear's elven-looking prisoner decide to liberate himself. What did he do? Owen whispered, jerking his head towards the man. Gorith? Let's just say that he had the disadvantage of being at the wrong place at the wrong time, Locklear said cautiously. He snatched a greenish apple out of his knapsack, offering one to Owen. I have to take him to Krondor. Did he kill someone? Owen asked. No. He attacked you? The Senor wiped apple juice from his mouth, shook his head. No, not exactly. Well, who cut you up then? Before Locklear could reply, Gorth leapt forward, his chains writhing between his wrists like metallic vipers. Get out from underfoot, Owen. Assassin in the camp. Do not struggle, Hasseth. I wish to keep you alive. But be glad I do not. The goddess of death will show you greater mercy. Alright. I guess we click this to look around. It's been a while since I played this one. Owen checked the corpse. No sense being squeamish, he said, rifling through a rucksack which lay next to the body. The supplies are supplies, wherever you find them. The fellow won't be needing them. And there's a mechanic in this game where some of the rations are spoiled or poisoned, but these ones are good. It'll say spoiled or poisoned. Laying the brown parcel aside, Gorth carefully undid the short length of string that bound the package. Although standard rations generally contain salted sweetmeats, hard rolls, sliced apples, and strawberry tarts, he was eager to get whatever food was inside. I think you can split it between the party. These are some lockpicks. Reaching into the velvet pouch, Gorth withdrew a sterling silver lockpicking tool. He studied it carefully, marveling at the unmatched precision of its craftsmanship. I don't know who's good at lockpicking. Wonder. Yeah, okay, you can use the arrow keys to look around. Sometimes there's treasure chests and stuff. Uh-oh. Gorth seemed distant. Though the Mordain warrior didn't appear grieved about killing the assassin that had followed them from the Northlands, his eyes had a baleful look in them that seemed something between hatred and rage. Several times he glanced back at the corpse that lay behind him in the dust, his thoughts unguessable from his expression. Do you wish to bury him? We could do that. It is not our way. I simply am somewhat disturbed that he should come after me. He was a kinsman. There are other things that trouble me as well. Delacon's assistants are slow, but not altogether stupid. Another like Hasseth, and you'll have only my corpse to drag before your Prince Arutha. Sorry you didn't get off that easy. As long as you were under my command, you were forbidden to die, Mordain. I think it's more red hell. That's the kind of elf he is. I've gone too far to make too much trouble keeping you alive to bury you now. It's time that we took the chains off you. It'll be far easier for you to defend yourself if your hands are free to swing a sword again. You're not going to just set him free, are you? I thought you said he was your prisoner. He is my prisoner, Owen, but the circumstances are terribly complicated. Even if he chose to sneak off, he'd be lucky to make it to the next town alive. This is the third such assassin we've run into since we left the Northlands, and I have a feeling that more will be waiting for us. He will be much safer with me and I with him. As the boy would be, if he were to whisper the wrong word in the wrong ear, he could easily be the death of us. Me? Who am I going to talk to? I'm not even heading in the same direction. It wouldn't be a matter of who you talk to, Owen. There will be ears listening for a word of a Mordain traveling with a noble. Damnation, I should have thought about this when you entered camp. For the time being, you're my squire. Once we arrive safely at the palace, you'll be free to go on your own way. But I have pressing business in Tyburn. This is not the subject of debate. We must get to Krondor. My mission is of critical importance, and I don't have time to improvise a safe and easy solution. The only other possible option would be to slit your throat and leave you dying. I have absolutely no desire to do that. Now let's get moving before Delacon's assassins catch our scent again. They'll likely come looking when Hasseth doesn't return from his mission. We're trying to get Goreth to Krondor. And he was a prisoner, I guess, for a bit, but not anymore. I think there's treasure chests somewhere. Show me the treasure chests. They're usually off the road. There's a signpost. Yabun. That'll be a town. Anything behind the mountain? Nothing. It's best we move through town as quickly as possible. I left the wedding party here not too long ago, and it might raise unpleasant questions if I were seen here again. We may need supplies. There's a shop here called the Crossroads where we might be able to pick up a few things, otherwise we should be cautious. Anything behind the mountain? Come on, treasure. Oh. Well, I think the town's back here. And there's another road. Well, they both lead to the island, I guess. No, is this where I was? Yeah, there's the body. Oh, there's something. The ashes were cold, wiping grime off his hands. Locklear shook his head. Someone or something obviously set up camp here, but it's hard to say when. Here's the treasure. Locklear gritted his teeth. Well, they agreed the box should be open. He was privately concerned the previous user might have left behind an unpleasant surprise. And some money. I know there's like a puzzle chest somewhere. I even remember the combination. There's these puzzle chests have riddles on them, and you input your... Oh. Someone was calling. Recognizing the lilt of the young voice, Owen turned and looked back down the road. A young squire that he had met at the party in Yabun was trudging behind them, a pack full of scrolls slung over his shoulder. The squire waved congenially, and Owen echoed the motion. What do you think you're doing? We are trying to remain unnoticed. Damn, Locklear muttered under his breath. Trying to behave as normally as possible. Since you know him, you handle him. Owen, remember Goreth's name is Orgath. Owen finished irritated. I'm not a child, you know. That reminds me scene. I didn't expect to see you again quite so soon. I would have thought you all the way to Lamut by now. Squire Philip. Would have been if the Duchess hadn't insisted in introducing me to all of her daughters. Amelia was the prettiest, I believe. Though I think Catherine took quite a liking to you. Catherine took a liking to everyone at the party. She's as fickle as her mother. She'd likely marry a Condoin if she can find one not tied in the marital knot. True enough. Say, I thought you said you were from Tyburn. Why are you taking this road home? Kind of a long way around, isn't it? Well, yes, I had to meet up with my Uncle Locklear here. And my other friend here is an elf, Thorgath. They decided it would be nice for me to take a tour with them down to Hawks Hollow. Down to Hawks Hollow. I hear it's lovely at this time of year. What are you up to? I'm looking to cash in an award, actually. When I was on my way to Yabon last month, I found a chest in this area, but I couldn't pick the lock on the thing. I figured it wasn't meant to be, and I left. Off. Thing is, all the Duchess party, I couldn't help but think about it. I had chest on the brain. I don't really care what's in it, but I have to pick that lock. Here's down. I'm afraid my senses of direction and distance are a bit off right now. We had a bit to drink last night, and we're still trying to shake off the effects. Which is the nearest place we could get cleaned up? Must have been quite a bender. If you're that confused, head straight south along the main road, and it'll take you into Lamut. If you're looking for good food, the Blue Wheel is a solid waiter. Oh, I'd warn you, their Surani food can be a bit spicy. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. I'm gonna... Surani, I guess. Surani? I, for one, could do with a little less sleeping on the ground. Any good inns you can recommend? There's a Blue Wheel Inn in Lamut, or you could try the Dusty Dwarf in Hawks Hollow. I suppose if you got really desperate, you could try breaking into one of the abandoned houses out in that part of the country, but I can't sleep well in a house that may fall on top of me. Of course, it may well be that the people have moved out for good reasons. I've heard that several people south of L'Oreal moved out after a contagion began spreading there. Was anything left behind in any of the abandoned houses you saw? Nothing of real value. Bits of food in a few cupboards, an occasional gold piece kicked beneath the foundation of the house. Lost items mainly. The majority of places I visited had those unpickable locks. What are they called? Weber locks. Yes, they had Weber locks installed, so I wasn't able to get inside. Lost items. Not certain, but I think I may have mislaid a very valuable belonging of mine. I shouldn't worry about it. Depending on where you lost it, the chances are it will still be there. Or good, it will still be there. Okay. Is the treasure chest? Box lid refused to budge. It appears to be locked. Shall we try to open it? I'll save first. Is this the options? It is. Locklear pondered the lock. I don't think I've seen that lock before. He said there's always an off chance that we could pick it. Always Locklear. I think I can like right click on the dude. Yeah, okay. Well, he's got 25 lock picking. One's got 5. Gorth has got 15. All right. So you can highlight these skills, and that's what they'll work on. So I kind of want. These ones will level up faster, I think it works like. All right, who's the best at barding and haggling? 33 and 37. This guy probably. Yep. One is our caster, and there's no magic points in this game. It takes your stamina and health to cast spells. All right. Nice. The lock was simple. As the saying goes, locks are for children and fools, Locklear said. After a few seconds, he flicked the picklocks in the air and caught them again. I am no fool. Set of standard kingdom armor. Condition 84%. It's repairable. 15% armor, and it's made for humans. A thin shell of steel. The plate armor was ideally intended to be worn over a padded piece of clothing that they were regretfully without. But while the thin fabric of Locklear's tunic would be a poor substitute for a quilted gambeson, the armor itself would deflect far more sword blows than would bare skin. A shell, value rating 85%, so it's just like a gem, and the gems have a quality that increases their price. Shades of blue and alabaster chased one another around the surface of the spiral shell, winding tighter and tighter until the colors became an indistinguishable blur towards the center. While such shells were not entirely unique, they were sometimes collected and sold by poor peasants. So does this armor with its... No, it still has the same armor mod, but this one's better. And we have the standard RPG inventory management and equipment. Oh, he doesn't have any armor at all. We got food, lockpicks. These are restoratives that have amount of uses. Comforting warmth blanketed Gorth as he shook the vial of restorative fluid, its magical effects radiating up the length of his arm and then down his limbs and torso. He would, of course, have to swallow the liquid to reap benefit of its healing powers. And we have broadswords. He's using it. It's repairable. It's meant for humans. And accuracy on thrusting is plus 10 skill. Damage on strength is 7 plus strength. And accuracy is minus 5 plus skill. Does it tell him anything different because he's an actual human? No, same. I don't know if the racial mod makes him better at using it or more damage or something. I'm not too sure. Let's check the map. So, let's go back to Yabon. Until it tells us to turn around. I'm going to do some exploring just for fun. There's bad guys on the road, usually. Want to find all the treasures. Uh-oh. We need the rest. He said, looking for a good place to camp. If we go much further without sleep, we might not be able to handle any unexpected surprises on the road. But we can rest until morning. Alright. These are what the stores usually look like, but let's check the rest of the houses first. Luckily looked around nervously as Owen knocked. Doesn't seem anyone is about, he said. Luck's with us. Luckily knocked on the door. For a long moment he leaned against the doorframe as he waited, positioning himself so he could listen for sounds of any stirrings inside. When at last it was evident no one's coming, he stepped back with a shrug. Doesn't seem anyone's about. Definitely not a good idea. This is my aunt's house. As much as I would love to enjoy the opportunity to explain why I'm traveling with a Mordain, I think we should leave. Luckily knocked on the door. Oh, doesn't seem as anybody's about. Read that one. Read the door. The building appears to have been abandoned. They locked up after themselves. Think we should take a shot at opening it up? Yes. Hello, Cyrus. Locklear shook his head. The lockmaker knew what he was doing, he said. It's beyond my ability. I can't open it. Let's try the key. Hey. With a pleasant click, the key turned inside the metal lock. Let's take a look at what's inside. With the lock successfully picked, Locklear pushed open the door and entered the small building. Looks like this used to be some sort of laundry shop, but apparently has gone out of business, he said. Let's take a look around. Get some more armor. Gorth pointed to the house. I don't know, Owen replied to the unasked question. It's not a relative's house. Good enough, Gorth said, turning on his heels. He marched to the door and knocked lightly as Owen watched the street. After a few moments, a disheveled-looking man answered the door. They talked for a short while and discovered the man had spent the better part of the night trying to break into a laundry shop and had recently gone out of business. The owner closed up shop and I never returned the suit of armor I was having cleaned. If you can get in there, it's all yours. I'm very tired. If you excuse me, I'd like to go to sleep now. Well, I got the suit of armor. And the store. A bell rang. No sooner had Locklear managed to get the door open, he found the shopkeeper was escorting him inside. Got like the point and click adventure thing. Sometimes there's stuff you can find in these screens. Everywhere Locklear looked, polished metal gleamed, as much as a temple to war as any temple of Tith. The cramped shop offered a startling variety of weapons and armor. I only have silver coins, 20 silver. Can't afford any of this stuff. We'll sell my armor, though. Only offer you 1 sovereign and 4 royals for it. Okay. Two sovereigns and 9 royals for it. I wonder if, because it's an armor shop, he doesn't give me as much for this. I guess we'll find out by keeping it. 2 sovereigns and 9 royals. Alright. I think it'll give me a message if I try to go north again, because the story says I came from the north. Uh-oh. Luckler struggled to make sense of it all. As the enemy advanced, his concentration was in 2 places. In his legs, making certain of his stance and balance, and on his opponents, wondering how they'd be able to track him down so quickly. All such thoughts were quickly forgotten as the enemy charged into their ranks. Sometimes you can see those guys on the screen before you encounter them. And then you can click on them and it'll give you like a... You try to ambush them. So I want to put Owen in the back because he's the caster, and he can't cast spells when people are beside him. There's a guy in front here, I'll try to stab him. Yes. So I got a 37% chance if I swing, or 25 damage, 52% accuracy thrust, so let's try to thrust. Nope. Ow. Right. Well, Owen, you get into battle too. Nice. 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 Well, that guy's running. So the spells are in different... I have Despair Thy Eyes, blinds target for a short time. It costs 2 health/stamina. It uses the stamina first. I have Invitation, which pulls the target forward at the cost of 1 to 10 health and stamina. Gift of Sung, health stamina transfer. I think I can send my hit points to an ally. Let's just blind this guy so he can't run away. I think it stuns them. And Locklear's gonna go try to stab him. Nice. Right. Take out this one, Gorth. Getting my butt kicked. One down. I can hit this to rest. Heal a little bit. The battle was won. Search the bodies. They may have valuable supplies. Locklear suggested, then amended. And make it quick. If there are more of them waiting out here, let's not be here when they return. Thinking only made it worse. Setting aside his reservations about pilfering the fallen, he decided that he would take what the goddess of luck had given them. However immoral he might feel about it, he was certain his stomach would quickly assuage his guilt if he found a bit of food to eat. Are they poisoned? They're spoiled, so I'm not going to take those. Once, the rations might have been edible or even appetizing, but the stench that wafted from the open parcel was more than enough to turn Locklear's stomach. It couldn't be eaten. And I'll sell the rest of the stuff, though. Who's better at haggling? Okay, it was Owen, so I should give this stuff to sell to Owen, probably. And we're gonna keep going north until it tells me I can't. Through the trees. Does that go, I wonder? Oh, there's more bad guys. They agreed to attack, going over the plan as quickly as possible. Locklear laid out a simple strategy. We're set then. Let's just hope our advance is undetected and our advantage will be lost. Agree between me and him. The Mordain warrior grins, sidestepping their surprise attack to try to gain the higher ground. He waggled a mocking forefinger at Locklear, his eyes alight with bloody eagerness. Fine, Locklear said, preparing for battle, and we shall do this the hard way. Only one? Could be only one. Spare his eyes. The battle is won. Search the body for supplies. I've already read this. Owen looked for supplies, feeling like a bit like a vulture. He turned the body this way and that as he searched for anything that might be of use to them on their journey. All in all, he supposed that if he were the dead man, it wouldn't matter to him any longer what happened to his belongings. Oh, we can't carry it. Just want to find all the treasures. Down this road. Oops, wrong button. There's a house. No treasures. The face of the door was covered with a pattern. A strange semicircle formed of oily black smudges that joined at the iron door latch. On closer examination, it seemed that the smudges were actually fingerprints of some kind. I really should have that cleaned, I suppose. Locklear jerked upright at the sound of a gruff voice, patting from around the corner of the house. A balding man stopped next to Owen and held up a palm stained with black ink. A scribe tends to make quite a mess. Occupational hazard. Scribe, among other things. Currently, I have accepted a commission on behalf of a traveling merchant to do a survey of all the mercantile boxes in the area. He cast a knowing look at Gorith. Perhaps you would be interested in helping. And what would be profit off it? Gorith said quietly. Information, the scribe replied. I've acquired a book I think you will find very interesting. There's a box just west of Hawk's Hollow on the southern side of a small hill. Find out what's in the box and I'll give you the book. Now leave me, I have much work to do. West of Hawk's Hollow on the south side of a hill. I wonder if we'll remember that. Dead guy. There was trouble ahead. Unable to pinpoint the source of his anxiety immediately, Locklear motioned for a halt. Be wary, we may have wandered into a trap. So between these pylons, you'll get damaged by a trap, so I'm gonna make sure to go around them. Looks like only one of us can stab him at a time. Make sure he doesn't get away. The battle was won. Search the body for supplies. Make it quick. Nice. So I got a Mordain brooch. By the look of it, the malachite and silver brooch have been meant to be a cloak fastener for a setting for part of a larger piece of jewelry. Crude by kingdom standards, the Mordain brooch could still demand a reasonable price at the right shops. Oops. Button. We'll give the elf sword to the elf guy. Better armors. And I guess we'll read the elf sword. Mordain lamprey. As a universal weapon, the Mordain lamprey was poor, imperfect balance wedded to the weapon's unwieldy weight. Jeez, that's hard to read. Imperfect balance wedded to the weapon's unwieldy weight made it classically difficult to control in close quarters and challenging for the shorter-limbed kingdom soldiers to use. So it's got more base damage and less accuracy. Racial mod for the elf. Corn? Corn was too young, discarding the eerie pick. Luckler shrugged his shoulders. Eating this would just make us sick. Let's move on. Wait, wasn't there already a body on the street? Yeah. Some rations. Ashes were cold. Alright, here's one of those puzzle boxes I was talking about. The riddles. Rough in construction and banded with iron, the Mordain box would be impossible to open without solving its word lock. And judging by the marks on the face of the chest, others had learned that lesson after much difficulty. Worth scanned the runes embossed on the Mordain clue plate. Its text their only hope of opening the difficult word lock. He gets short when he gets old. He goes out, then it gets cold. And then there's only so many options for these. I watched Kilgore Trout on like either his own Twitch channel or the DOG Twitch channel, and he would go through all the options on a notepad and let people guess in the chat, but there's no one in my chat guessing, so I'm pretty sure this one is Candle. Chest thumped. Satisfied the magical locks are released. Owen tipped open the large wooden lid. Cool. Magical scroll. Scratched out in the scroll in painstakingly lucid detail was a magical spell which had been titled Flamecast. Stardusk. Getting too much stuff. Is this gonna give... This is a royals, right? Yeah, silver royals. Okay. Oh. These are gold sovereigns? Okay, well, I wonder what the next coin is. Commanding less buying power for coin than golden sovereigns, the silver pieces would still be a welcome addition to their collective wealth. Granted, their task was not to become rich, but the financial capacity to avoid starvation or death by exposure was uppermost in his thoughts. Oh, so there's 10 royals per sovereign. Piece of paper. Not yet convinced that he should take the time to read over the missive's contents, Locklear studied the yellowing parchment but found nothing particularly outstanding about the ink, which was printed or cut of the paper. Nighthawk should be advised. Why is that? That the magical traps sent earlier of an inferior grade and are often unreliable. We have staked out the 2 sections of Kingdom Roads to the south of Zun, and the west of Tirsog to test out a new design engineered by the 6. I won't shove the note in a spare bag. Someone will probably find this, but I'm tired of carrying it. The bag will at least keep it protected from the elements. I think he can read these books, or scrolls, too. Although he could have wished for better circumstances under which to study it, Owen broke the scroll's wax seal and began to read. After an hour's laboring with the difficult language, he was able to commit the incantation to memory. While the words on the parchment etched indelible patterns in his mind, the scroll grew brittle, then crumbled slowly between his fingers like sun-dried leaves. Oh, there's magic for, out of battle as well. Scent of Serig. Sensor can sense trapped chests. Oh, that's good to read. I guess I can't see his spells outside of... Oh, I can. Flamecast. Oh, does it tell me what it does? It does not. Candle glow, Stardusk. Interesting. That wasn't even the puzzle chest that I was looking for. Where are we going here? To the next bridge, it looks like. Show me the treasure. Oh. There's some bad guys. The enemy was not surprised. In fact, they seemed eager to accept the challenge. Move forward to meet the failed charge. Weapons are ready, shouted Locklear. Looks like we're going to fight this one on their terms. Oh boy. One of the 20 health, 3 times the cost. Area fire damage. I don't know about area. Let's try it. And then I can pick how much stamina or health I want to use. 30 damage. 62% chance. Please don't hit my own guy. Oh, he missed. Oh well. Oh, I should have picked out that other weapon too. Well, that was kind of a waste of 10 hit points or whatever I cost. 15. We'll blind him instead. Nice and cheap. Battle was won. See what it tells me when I try to go this way. Another guy. Enemy was not surprised. Uh-oh, 3 of them this time. He missed again. running around. Oops. So once we start losing stamina, we get more inaccurate. Yeah. Nice. Oh, no, you don't. Fourth accuracy melee ability has increased. Good. Take the more valuable items. So this one has like a blessing on it or something. Blessing type, number 2, plus 10%. Accuracy, I guess, and then after I hit somebody with it, I think it goes away, or after one battle. Oh. Guess we'll use it. This one's better. Oops. Well, there's an 80% sword, and some better armor. I think if I keep going north, it'll tell me to turn around. But let's keep getting some skills and treasure and money while we're... Well, it hasn't turned us around yet. We can go to Tearsog, whatever that is. Is it an elf town? It's got a name. The houses are the same. Push the door open. This place is abandoned, Locklear said, looking around the room. Maybe the occupants left something behind we can use. Arrows. I'll take them. Entered a cheery common room as if grown from the floorboards themselves. A middle-aged man appeared on the spot, and he showed them a table set next to a roaring hearth. Joffrey, owner of the tavern, he said. Might I interest you in some food today? Yes. He smiled. Splendid. What would you like? Can I sell you anything? No use for such an item. What about this? No use for such an item. He's got 13, he's got 14. Give him 1. A woman was on her way out. I really can't stop the talk. She said, well, tying an apron around her waist. My husband Ethan's just taken off on another of his scavenging trips for the 3 Hillmen, and I need to watch the place for him. He's always coming back with heaping armfuls of stuff that people have lost or just dropped. Come by sometime. A few moments she had hurried out of sight. What if I try again? No one. A man stumbled outside. I'm Murray, town undertaker. Who's kicked it? He asked, and amended. I mean, who has departed to the other side? You don't sound as if you believe in life after death. The only thing lively going on in the graveyards is thanks to the living, he said with a chuckle. Only last month I was talking to a gravedigger who tends Lamott's yard. Told me someone had gone into his yard and dug a new grave. He has no idea who's under the stone. Why doesn't he go dig it up and see? Locklear asked. He tapped the side of his head. He's afraid a shade will get him. Supernatural humbo, if you ask me. What's dead stays dead. Never seen a ghost in my life. Goodbye, gents. I checked that house, yeah. Right. Doesn't seem anyone is about. And a shop. 3 Hillman pawn. I'll buy a shovel. I'm gonna go digging some graves. 6 sovereigns. Okay. If you haggle, sometimes he'll work, or he won't sell it to you after. Quiet my price or be off with you. Unavailable. Can I not buy a shovel now? No use for such an item. This was like 2 sovereigns? Oh, 3 sovereigns from this guy. That's good enough. 7 sovereigns. Oh yeah. Alright, well that doesn't cross over into any other currency. Ring of Prander. On many occasions, Gorth had seen similar rings used by visiting magicians to cast spells to light and darken rooms. While he couldn't be certain by appearances alone that the ring he held was of the same purpose, the reference to the god of light and the fire in its name seemed to be a good indicator. Get an armorer's hammer to repair my armor? Sure. Practice loot to practice looting? Nah. I want a whetstone. Okay, it's good and cheap. Holy. You give me like 30 for it and it's worth 117? What a ripoff. Alright, I like to buy a key and the loot. Alright. Now I can repair my armor. And my sword. The only guy that's not good at it is Owen, so we won't let him learn that skill or won't try to train him in it. Right. Can I give your armor to him? No. Can I give your armor to him? No. How can I? Yes. But can he carry the hammer? Yes. And I think Owen was good at barding. Yeah. 4%. 33 is not bad. So how do we use this? Just like this? No. Double click. There we go. Owen plucked the strings of the practice lute carefully, aware of a small mistake for the cause of great grief to the others. He could at least say he was learning, however minutely, every time he played the single tune he knew. Was he better at it now? Oh. Maybe? I didn't really pay attention. Right. Which way do we want to go? Let's try going north. Surely it'll stop me. The horn sounded in Krondor. Immediately several additional notes echoed the first. Passed down the bend of the canyon while shadows began to appear along the length of the defile. Rising up from behind the rocks and out of the ditches, a dozen scattered men responded to the call to arms. Appearing at the mouth of the previously unknown cave, a 40-looking gentleman lumbered down from his hiding, and seeing that his guards weren't needed, he whistled for their dismissal. Bin. Well, I didn't expect to see you back this way so soon, Senor. Senor? I actually understand if you were going to make it any place at all cut up like... I actually wondered if you were going to make it any place at all cut up like you were. Where's your company, Lieutenant Finn? Why aren't they standing guard on the pass? With all due respect, Senor, we're digging ourselves out of a pretty mess presently. Not long after you and the Mordain trounced through here, a white screamer came up out of nowhere. Worst snowstorm I've seen in 16 years. 10 miles on the 10 miles on down the dell. The pass is buried under 5 feet of snow. I sent guards to help our forward positions, but I'm not positive they can do much. Kind of like lighting your pipe under the bitter sea. There's no way to get through the Krondor at all? Not unless you're a snow-burrowing mole or a fire drake. No, sir. Whatever may be in the Northlands or in the Kingdom, they have a long wait on their hands if they need to get down this road. Whoever. Well, that's it then. We'll have to turn back. Take care, Lieutenant. Alright, so we got turned around there. Or could we go east to Eld Point? Castle Wolfram. If I recall my geography, this road skirts between the high walled and the teeth of the world. Ultimately, it leads past the northern garrisons at High Castle and northward. And what do you think? Do we take this path? No, I don't think so. Go back across the bridge. I think I came down the... Did I come down the water here? I think I did. Comes across the bridge here. Anything different? Oh, we can dig these graves up, I guess. Paul Dudding. No one knew where he came or where he went. But we dig up this grave. Yes. Ooh. Weed walkers. The strange elven footwear was far too dainty to suit his taste. Dyed bright green and trimmed with a thin cord of gold, they were obviously intended as something to be worn within boots or moccasins. And afflict player statistics. I think that gives you more stealth, so... Is Owen the least stealthy? Well, now he's got 61. 33. 29. What happens if I give him to this guy? 59. 31. Runa. In the wilds was the Hadati woman. You're up. An hour passed, covered with grime and grave mold. Owen distastefully flung back the heavy lid of the coffin to look at its contents. Immediately he was wretched as thick ammonia scent billowed up from the coffin's corrupting remains. Just a body, he gagged. Celia Debulin? Water took her to the deeps. Digging was exhaustive, standing waist deep in the hole. Owen Lord levered open the lid of the pine box with the tip of his shovel. When at last it was open, his face contorted with a look that was a mixture of relief and disappointment. That's strange, no body. Is there a ghost now around? No. Algus Sagan. Another helping put him 6 feet under. Poisoned rations. Oh. Laying the parcel aside, Locklear carefully undid the length of string that bound the package. Inside was an assortment of salted sweetmeats, hard rolls, sliced apples, and strawberry tarts, each portion individually wrapped and sealed with wax, though a few looked as if they might have been tampered with. Want that. David Booley, buried without a word. Just a body. Baby Arissa. A week, she cried before she slept. Dig up a baby? Uh-oh. Smoke seeped from the earth, backing away from the defiled grave. Gorth watched in horror as the smoke began to whirl into a sparking maelstrom. Alright. We're gonna probably have to hit this with fire spells or something. Come on, hit it. Yeah! Oh, and it did hurt everybody around him. Oops. Ow. Can I blind it? Okay, good. We can actually hurt it. I should have backed off further than that, probably. It's down. Locklear blinked. Despite the fact the creature had disappeared, he was ready to drop his guard, but a quick survey of the area revealed there was nowhere in sight. I think it's gone, he said. Let's get moving again. This grave? No. If I dig it up again, does the baby come, or does the ghost come back? Just a body. Alright. Well, it's just the... Looks like the bridge goes to the same place. But we didn't check over there for treasure. There'll be some bad guys to skill up on. Oh, yeah, we're just back in town again. Okay. We get behind the waterfall? Nothing. Don't think I've been here yet. Just a store by itself. The building creaked in a way that made Locklear nervous. You stay out here. Something doesn't look right about this place. I'm going to have a look around. When he turned a minute later, he had a grim look on his face. What did you find? There was an open chest lying on an empty work table. Looked as though it has been rigged with a system of tripwires and flints. The contents were no doubt explosive. Someone's been up to no good, and we best leave before they get back. And if I find a treasure chest, it's going to be an explosive one? Alright. I think Owen's got a spell for that. Scent of Serig. Ken sense trapped chests. Owen muttered the incantation. Knowing that the effects would be invisible to all but himself, Owen explained as he finished the spell. Until it wears off, I'll be able to sense whether a chest has been trapped. Oh. Well, this is a puzzle chest. In all the world, none can compare to this tiny weaver, his deadly cloth so silky and fair. Well, that sounds like a spider. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Cancel. These guys. We need rest. And we're back to basically where we started. I'm sure there's a puzzle chest somewhere with... I don't remember what's in it, but I remember like the first chest you find is the puzzle chest I'm thinking of. Right off the beginning. Owen raised a finger, sensing that someone or something was nearby. He used the agreed-upon sign that caution was called for. They steeled themselves for combat. Their nerves wound tight like springs. Abruptly, a figure emerged in the open before them. Fire Philip! Owen, what a surprise. Yeah. We talked to that guy already. Go down here. Is this still the same town? I can go to Lamut. Sure. Yeah, okay. Well, here you can find a shop. It's another shop. We can go to the castle or the keep or whatever's there. There's an inn. That's it. You can look in the water. $8. The shop. Butcher's Post. You can do repairs. The Fletcher's Post had been constructed with elven sensibilities, within and without. Little, if anything, had been used in a manner that could have been called scurrilous. I don't even know what that word is. And certainly nothing was merely decorative. Along the walls, the shop's array of arrows and other archery goods were finely displayed, and each thing seemed precisely in its place. Can't afford the crossbows. Scroll about. Eyes of Ishap. I don't know what that does. What's this? Callum's Dialect. As the book looked and smelled quite new, Locklear turned to the onion skin covered title page and discovered a dedication writ there. This is a copy of a work scribed in the 3rd year of the reign of King Liam the first, for brother Washane, archer and friend. It must teach you archery, I guess. Well, I gotta sell my stuff. I have no use for such an item. Does not want the elven sword, huh? Oh, this one's still got the blessing on it. Interesting. We could go to the inn. We could try the bard. Owen struggled with the lute. As he began to play, he felt he was not so much playing a song as he was wrestling a beast 100 times his size. Numerous times the song eluded him, slipped out of his reach only to fall into an obscure pit of noise. Out, 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 the tavern keeper urged, yanking the lute from Owen's hands. Be glad this crowd isn't in a worse mood. Give them time to calm down and then you can come back, but only if you're coming back for food. The man scowled, apparently far more intent on something going on across the common room. He seemed uninterested in Locklear's repeated attempts to chat. At last he glanced up and gave an exasperated sigh. What exactly do you want? Just a little friendly talk, Locklear said with a companionable smile. News, gossip, and a song, perhaps. Well, go and find a bloody... Yongler? I have no idea. And then leave me to it. Leave me to be. I've got better things to do than entertain every jackaboot that comes through the door. Yongler. I don't know what that word means. Yongler? Seems French-ish. I guess I could buy some food. Let's give everybody 7 rations. They're not poisoned or spoiled, right? Okay. The dwarf drew on his pipe. Languid smoke plumed from the old codger's mouth as he studied Locklear. Owen and Gorth each in turn. Although he had long ago lost the use of his left eye to a Mordain sword stroke, his right eye still burned brightly beneath his bushy eyebrows. Dubal on lock and lock. Being as a dwarf ne'er forgets as much as his own name, I can recognize a strapping young man before me who last I saw was a boy. No slight intended, but I fear I don't recall the occasion. As like the rest of your human kin, none among you can remember much past a week. If not for we canny dwarves, you would have forgotten that you have a kingdom at all. I fetched you out of a cellar along with a score of womenfolk at the Battle of Sethanon. Don't you remember me, Lockie? Dubal, of course. Good. Glad to see you. I hadn't recognized you without the eye patch. What's the dwarf to do? I won this scratch fair and square, and I'll be a dragon's mother before I cover it up again. Shouldn't have had to do so in the first place. Now I just sit here to jabber with that loon of a Saruni bartender and have me a few beers. Not much to do with the Mac Mordain Cadal at all collapsed. Not much to do with the Mac Mordain Cadal all collapsed. A Brak Nurr has been seen down there. They'll be offering a hefty reward for its slaying. I'll might you if tradition holds too. Something of a challenge, as they are fierce beasties even by dwarven standards. I've heard tales of these creatures of stone. Thank you, Dubal. Umani clapped twice. Abruptly, the festive mood of the room died. The clank of goblets and the scrape of plates falling silent as the bartender shuffled between benches to bow at Locklear's feet. Touching a gnarled fist to his forehead and then to his heart, he spoke somberly. Be welcome to the Blue Wheel Inn. May you find the drinks to your liking and the company of our patrons pleasurable. If there is anything our servants or I may do, you need only ask Sumani. Honors to your house as well, Sumani. Am I correct in believing this is a drinking establishment? So it is. We serve many of your Macadamian drinks as well as a few of the Surunani Empire as well. Perhaps I might interest you in a cup of Chocha. Okay. Why did you decide to come to Macadamia? Midkemia. Oh, okay. And open an inn. Anyway, surely you would get better business on Kelawan. Was not always a tavern keeper. As a soldier serving house Shinzawai under Earl Kasumi, I was trapped here when the Rift Gate was collapsed at the end of the Rift War. It was our belief that we would never again see our families in Tsuruanani or the green skies of Kelawan again. Ruanwani, I don't know. But Tsuruani warriors traditionally kill themselves if they are in danger of falling captive to an enemy. That is true, Lord, but the Earl informed us that we were forbidden to dispatch ourselves until given leave to do so by a great one. I believe in Midkemia you would call such a magician. Until such a time I content myself with running the Blue Wheel Inn. Heard that the permanent rift gate in Kelawan is located near here. I was hoping we could get a glimpse of it. There would be little to see at the moment, an internal conflict has arisen in the Empire between House Akoma and House Anasati. The Assembly of Magicians has ordered a temporary interruption of transport between the Empire and the Kingdom of the Isles. Until such time the conflict is resolved, I have been assured the measure is temporary. You said you were a soldier of the Serrani forces. Would you be interested in teaching us some of your combat techniques? It would be my honor, Lord, but I require a small fee for my services. If my armor were to be damaged, I would be ill-prepared otherwise to pay for its repair. 75 sovereigns should cover the potential harm. Is that a fee acceptable? Yes. Sounds reasonable enough to me. Deal. I shall meet you by the river in 5 minutes' time. I should forewarn you, though, or you, however. I sometimes seem different when I am armored for battle. I apologize in advance for any harm I should do to you. I should do you. Buckler gaped. Striding down from the narrow doorway of the Blue Wheel Tavern was a figure that no longer bore any resemblance to a modest tavern keeper. Obviously, having taken his time to refit himself, Sumani had donned a pitted suit of blue laminate armor, the greaves breastplate and leggings all fashioned out of a lightweight wood, which creaked as he lumbered towards them. Serrani armor? Locklear asked. Sumani adjusted his blue-plumed helm over his eyes. I was a former patrol leader. The Earl Kasumi insisted that I should keep the armor given to me by House Shinzawai. Although I no longer serve in the garrison, my oath of loyalty is still to the Earl. Are you prepared for your lessons? Yes, I think so. A mischievous glint reflected in the Serrani's eyes. Then defend yourselves. Buckler motioned for a halt to the lessons as he hauled himself for the third time out of the cold Lamutian River. Okay, mercy, uncle. Whatever it is you damnable Serrani say when you want to surrender. Your will, Lord, Sumani chuckled, already beginning to resume his modest role as a tavern keeper. I shall meet you inside the Blue Wheel once you have dried yourselves off. Armor repair. I don't know how much longer our armor is going to last. Any idea where to get it repaired? If your armor was the same as mine, I would suggest trying the garrison, but kingdom armor is made in a different way. I would think perhaps the dwarves in the Mac Mordain Cadal would be of assistance. I understand from speaking to Dubal that the small ones are gifted when it comes to the manufacture of weapons and armor. Goodbye. Thank you for your services, Sumani. You have a wonderful establishment. It's very Serrani. Your patroness honors us. Goodbye. I promise if I'm ever in the butt again, I'll be sure to drop in for a bit of something to eat. And can we go to the keep? The garrison was impressive, sitting on a hill overlooking Lamut. The military outpost had been constructed years earlier to head off a possible Mordain assault on the western border of the kingdom. They followed a road that snaked through the town and up the rocky hill upon which the garrison sat. After speaking with the sentries at the gate, they were led under the fortress's massive iron portcullis. Ah, man, now I have to look up how to say that. Portcullis, there we go. Captain Belford stood as they entered the room. It's good to see you again, Locklear, he said, extending his hand. I share that sentiment. What news have you? How is Earl Kasumi? Locklear asked as the men shook hands. They sat in hardwood chairs as Belford replied, He's well, but he's off taking care of some business with a few new guards that come through the rift from Kellowan. As for the rest of us, we're looking for a group of grey warriors from Kellowan who slipped through the rift just before it closed. Locklear looked puzzled. King Lime and Emperor Ichendar granted the Grey Warriors freedom and new status in the kingdom. Yes, but the agreement doesn't allow for the nationalization of stolen goods. Seems they may have absconded with a valuable ruby from Makala's entourage, said Belford. Makala? The Serrani Great One? Owen asked. Belford smiled. Yes, he's been talking to Prince Arutha about establishing a permanent rift to encourage trade between the kingdom and Kellowan. He's really throwing his weight around trying to get his ruby back. If you should happen to come across it, bring it here. He's offering a reward. They thanked him for his information and left. Alrighty then. The party's abilities have increased. Oh, accuracy, melee, and defense. Pretty good. Accuracy, melee, and defense. Accuracy, melee, and defense. No. Did I repair and sharpen my stuff the last time I got in the battle? I did not. And nobody got hurt. Anything around this mountain? No. Another graveyard? I don't know about that. Plan to attack. Fine, then we do this the hard way. Owen's accuracy melee ability has increased. That's pretty good. Well, nothing to it but to save and dig up all these graves. Hayden Miller, a bone did him in. Just a body. Rosewall Lamutian. Her face was sweet and her hands could heal. Argus Atacarper. His fish didn't get away. Just a body. Goldie Crow. In face, her death was that of a sovereign. Michael Ambazak. As you are, I once was. As I am, you will be. It's a ghost, isn't it? No, just a body. A.R. Cramond. He told a lie and paid the price. Miriam Hasselkaff. To the drawer of nets she took her key. Kala Montala Pecha. Touched by flames for honor's sake. Cool. Victor Marmalian, a cat, a cur. We loved him still. No body. His chest was opened by a Mordain, stranger. No body. We need the rest. I think that was all the graves, maybe. Nine uses of the shovel left. Gonna do a lot of saving just because these old games are pretty punishing. I'm stuck behind this mountain. That's the wrong direction. South it is. Show me the treasure boxes. Alright, so there's a cave behind me. Look around for more treasure really quick. Nothing. Alright. Can't believe I haven't found. Uh-oh. They're being watched. Unsure where their observers were located. Locked their wheeled about just as a figure emerged from behind the trees. I don't want to go sell that stuff before I go in the cave because there's going to be lots of guys to loot in the cave too. We will. I think different stuff happens when you come to the doors at night as well. The tavern keeper greeted them at the door, giving them inside to a cluster of tables, guiding them. He produced a sheaf of papers which had been inked with the name of various goods and drinks, which he had been written the name of the tavern. The Green Cat. Quite something, eh? The tavern keeper said in obvious admiration. It's to become the fashion in all the taverns and inns, I hear. I believe the word for it is menu. Unfortunately, I won't have anything on it for a while, so yes, can I get you a bit to eat? Sure. Cash up front if you don't mind, he said, rubbing his fingers together. No one answered. Either the occupants slipped out, they're ignoring us, or they're stone dead sleepers. No one answered. Doesn't seem anyone's about. And this one's abandoned. Got a bowstring. Or a bow if I ever had one. Where does the road lead? We need rest. Look for a treasure really quick. Need rest. Alright, alright. Now, this is the way to the cave, or this is the mutt? The cave, okay. We'll sell our stuff really quick. The sword is still blessed. Maybe it's permanently blessed. A sulphurous stench was in the wind. This must be the Mordain Cadal, Locklear said, his eyes glazing as he lost himself in thought. I knew that it was somewhere close. As I recall, Mac is dwarven from mine or cave or something like that. Now, considering the dwarves are no friends of the Mordain, they might be of some assistance to us. Assuming they don't take exception to Gorth here. Do we investigate or not? Yes. The tunnels were damp. Though the silver-seamed earthen roof, which stretched over their heads, was tall enough that they didn't have to crouch, Locklear felt hemmed in by the shaft. He was privately thankful the dwarves were larger than they were often given credit for in the legends. Hemmed in by the shaft. Well, there's torches burning on the wall, but I still can't see Jack. Sparks rocketed down the corridor, slamming Owen flat against the mineshaft walls. Locklear narrowly leapt for cover as something skidded along the rocky floor. Abruptly, the glowing cone of fire winked out of existence as it collided with an unseen wall. After several heartbeats, the seigneur peeled himself away from the wall just in time to meet the gaze of a short tree stump of a man. Bloody awful hammer. You best of a demon in your bones. You've come to take a whack at killing the beastie, have you not? Beastie? Beastie eye, half a week ago, we heard something fierce a-baying in the mine, terrible cold like. Of course the dwarf knows the sound instant whether he's heard it before or not. Brak Nurr. Curse of every hole delver since the first dwarves took up hammers. Never heard of them. No one has in quite a while, laddie. There hasn't been a Brakner in the upper mines for well on since DeLong the Great laid claim to the Kingdom of the Isles. We thought we laid low with a lot of them, but the kobolds are stirring them up on their quest. Kobolds? Your folk call them gnomes. They used to worship a dragon that lived down here. But when the dragon disappeared, they thought the dwarven folk hid him away. Every now and again, their leader, Fadir, takes a notion to undertake a holy quest to find him. This time they must have woke up a clutch of Brak Nurr. Now the Nurr have collapsed the main passage and killed 30 of our kin. We've a reward to whomever can do it in, if you're of a mind and have the spirit, that is. Hey, stay out of there, kitty. Kitty's trying to go in the bedroom. Brak Nurr. I'm not saying we're interested in killing your Brak Nurr, but if we were looking for it, what would it be like? Half again your height and made of stone. Like living rock they are. From out their nostrils they breathe a green mist, but I'll be wary getting too close to look, for they'll drop a boulder on your head, sure enough. Sure now. Yeah. We've already had a few bravos what's come in to try a hand at killing the beastie, but there's not much they've been able to do themselves beyond get themselves so mangled they need the help of a temple. I'd be wary of them as as I would be of the beastie. None of them want else but then to claim the gold that we've offered to the creature's slayer. Temples. The way things have been going for us recently, perhaps we would do well to seek a little help at temples as well. Where are the closest ones? We dwarves don't much dawdle outside of the Grey Towers or Stone Mountain, but as I can, there's a temple of Killian betwixt Zun and Hawks Hollow, and I think there also might be a temple of Ishap here close, but I can't recall exactly where that would be. Armor repair. The barkeep, or at the Blue Wheel Inn at Lamont, suggested you might be able to repair our armor. If we weren't digging ourselves out of this pretty mess, we could do something for you, but we're tied up to a man. Pardon my saying so, but we've problems a bit more pressing than dealing with dented armor. You might try a hermit that lives near Ox Hollow. He's gained something of a reputation for himself over the past years. Swords. You can't repair our armor. Do you think you could do something about our swords? I hate to be difficult, but we're in a crucial situation. Are you D-flatty? I told you before we haven't the time to go repairing things at the moment. We're in a crucial situation ourselves if you haven't noticed. We'd be willing to pay you. I'm sure you would, but just as sure as I know the dwarves below would be willing to pay to get out from under the rock, it's a question of time. Look, if I show you a trick to sharpening your swords, will you promise not to be bothering anybody else in the mine? I think I can turn an anvil of sovereigns to advantage in the mutt and hire a few strong backs. Give my word of honor. That shall have to do. I'll teach you quick a little about weapon crafting, but I'll expect a fee of 50 sovereigns for my trouble. Do you have a deal? Yes. You have the gold before we leave now. Let's see this trick of yours. Watch what I do, and carefully. I don't want to be repeating myself more often than unnecessary. First off, you'll want to have a whetstone handy. Without it, my trick will be as useless as knees on a fish. The most important thing to keep in mind is the angle at which you draw the blade across the stone. It's like this. That's interesting. You sharpen the blades to the metal's edges, contrary planes, opposite sides, opposite directions in the grain. It'll make for an interesting cut. It'll make for a cut that your opponent won't quick forget. The weapon crafting lessons overlap. We've both got more important things to get to. Thank you for your time, Natter, and I hope you can get things straightened out down here. We'll be fine. As soon as you're through some of this rock and the Brak Nurr is laid low, you can keep us down. I didn't think so. Perhaps we'll meet again. Party's abilities have increased. Oh, I know what other game I have to play now, one of these days. Warriors of the Eternal Sun. This kind of dungeon crawling reminded me of it. I was thinking about, I have on GOG, what's the game called now? Eye of the Beholder, 1, 2, and 3, but I don't think I've ever beat those games, so I was hesitant to start it on stream, and this just like struggle in these mazes. Dead end. I do have torches, is that gonna help me? One singular torch. Let's light it. I can see a bit better. Can my opponent see me as well now? Locked up tight. Should we take a shot at opening it? Yes. Try picking it. Nope. Hey. That's some strange music. Thinking sounds. Is that supposed to be the dwarves mining? Well, this is just a huge room. Does it get revealed? Like, yes, it does. I zoom out? Yeah. Cool. And just in case this chest is strapped. Puzzle. Round as an apple, deep as a cup, all the bitter sea cannot fill it up. I remember this one. Civ. Morgan's journal. Its spine a patchwork of cracked hide and shiny leather. New pages sandwiched between ancient sheaves of parchment. The book has been repaired numerous times during its long history. No idea what that's about. A journal of an unknown dwarf. The majority of the pages in the book were concerned with a creature which the author referred alternately as Nurr, Brak Nurr, and Brak Nurr. Some mention was also made about a secret chamber in the lower chambers of the Mordain Cadal, which once had been occupied by someone named Ruarg. Rarg? We need to rest. Let me just look around real quick again. See if I... Let's go out the whole thing so when I look on my map later, we need to rest. Alright. Although my cow is dead, I continue to beat her. What a racket she makes. I remember this one also. Rum. The torch was kind of pointless. Alright, and this should be the way to go, I think. Hopefully that's not just the entrance. It's not. Oh, there's a bad guy down there. I don't know if we've seen a lock like that before. They agreed to attack. These guys don't have the same blue capes as the Mordain and stuff. They must be either humans or something else. The enemy was not surprised. I don't recall having given you permission to be here. A large bull-necked man stalked towards them, his fist curled before him. Turn around. We don't want any trouble. We're simply passing through. Immediately, a man turned and snapped his fingers, and moments later, the battle was joined. think the one with the yellow pants casts magic. Four bad guys. Go all the way to the corner. Can they keep chasing me? Okay. With the yellow guy. Indeed they can. Chase that yellow guy around everywhere. Oh no, Owen! Nice, he's pinned in there now. For a minute. One down. Oh, Owen. Nice. I attempt to run away. Aw, darn. I think he would come after me. Can't cast spells from there either, darn. One is getting beat. Can't run very far anymore. I'll just heal. Nice. Alright, his abilities have increased. What's this? Dragonstone. As if some magic within the azure stone was awakened by Gorth's touch, the dark fluid began to spill through a crack in the artifact's mottled surface and down the length of his arm. Where the droplets contacted cloth, they shied, but touched to smooth metal and infused itself and disappeared. Cool, crossbow. Might as well give him all the arrows. No, I should have given it to Gorth, because I don't think Gorth can move as far. Let's loot everything. Oops, wrong button. These are herbals, I think. Do we have any of those already? No one does. Oh, I didn't want to actually use it. Fearing that infection might be loose in the system, Owen attended his various nicks and cuts with the contents of the herbal pack. Well, it wouldn't make his wounds go away, at least speed the healing. I guess it's not going to hurt him, because he's already hurt. A potent medicinal aroma wafted from the herbal pack as Owen looked it over. Without opening it up, he was certain it contained the standard materials, alum and healer's alcohol. Well, it couldn't help regain lost strength. It would go a long way to increase the rate at which he healed. Oh, I didn't want to give him the... Right. Capital healed. Right, went around the whole room. Nothing in here. Bad guys. Amy was not surprised. Let's blind them all. Oh. That seems to have been a mistake. Try a swing. Nope. Try a swing. Nope. You too. Nope. All right. Oh, there was a treasure chest in the corner there. Nice. Oh, an armor. crap chests in this game really blow up in your face. Don't know if we've seen that lock before. Nice. And we have to make a turn here somewhere. More bad guys. They agreed to attack. The opponents were surprised. The leader of the small mob screamed orders at his companions, a mix of fear and anger apparent in his voice. Seizing the first strike opportunity, Locklear barked several quick orders and the battle was joined. Oh my. Health left. Oh, I didn't want you to move in between them. He was alive. Unsure whether it was skill or luck that had won them the fight, Locklear set aside his weapon, though he allowed his dead opponent a wide berth while he checked on Gorith's welfare. He needed no further excitement that day, for the day. Price abilities have increased. Oh. I missed the body and got the chest. 2 legs it has, and this will confound. Only at rest do they touch the ground. I think it's like wheelbarrow. This. Dalatail milk. Hawked at fairs and trading meets by the Brotherhood of the Shield of Dala, Dalatail milk was really nothing more than simple spring water, albeit spring water blessed by a priest of the Defender Goddess, was reputed to increase one's ability to defend oneself during combat. Okay. That's that. Ring of Prander, I already read that one. Room. Ah! Ah! The hitbox! Clerical oilcloth. Distributed once a year from the Temple of Tith, oilcloths were often resold by the poor to any who would buy. The oil was soaked into the fiber, the oil that which was soaked into the fiber had numerous qualities, though it was best known for its magical effects when smeared on edged weapons or on armor. Had nothing else, right? Oh. Is that the right body? Was not. 84 sword. 2 uses on that. Can I use this in the inventory? No. .94 sword. I think I went all the directions now. I need to go down and then straight. They agreed to attack. Is that going to be the Brak Nurr? Ground shook. Somehow the Brak Nurr had sensed their approach and was lumbering towards them. Startled, Locklear braced himself, his wide eyes fixed on the titanic creature. Glancing over his shoulder, he gulped. This is going to be harder than I thought. Can I stun it with despair their eyes? Seems like it. Just keep stunning it over and over again and it never gets turned. What is this? Is this inventory? It is not. What does that even do? Dark sheen appeared as Locklear applied the holy oilcloth, rubbing the metal until its surface drank up some of the residue. While its effects could be countered if the opponent used the same oil, it at least ensured that he would be on even footing with anyone hostile he met. Use up his turn. It does. This one. Bear halted, as if seeing the Dragonstone for the first time. He held it up for inspection and shook his head. I've got to get my mind on the business at hand, he muttered with self-deprecating humor. Next time I'll try putting jam on my sword instead of and eating toast laced with silverthorn. What is this for even then? For armor? Yeah. As if some magic within the Azure Stone was awakened by Goroth's touch, the dark fluid began to spill through a crack in the artifact's modeled surface and down the length of his arm. What? Oh, it's for extinguishing swords with magical flames. I should have read more of that. I thought it was the same thing. I already read about it. Alright. I want to keep despairing his eyes. What happens if I skip a despair? He does get an attack. But it didn't get me. Let's not let him attack. Oh, let's let him get one attack. Nice. Battle was won. Search for supplies. Locklear slid away from the dead Brak Nurr. His tongue felt thick and adhesive. A bitter, chalky taste lingered in his mouth and nostrils. He hadn't expected the creature to emit a strange little cloud when it died, but he was glad the fight was over. Wanting air, Locklear turned and nearly stumbled over a small grinning dwarf. You've done it. I heard the conflagration down the shaft, and I had no idea what was happening. Congratulations. Right now, I think we can all just use a rest. And rest you'll have, and you'll be needing it. You'll have to have your strength to be caring about all the golden rewards. Well done. The dwarf handed Locklear a pouch of gold coins and disappeared down the damp shaft of the mine. Party's abilities have increased. go around the outside. All right. There's a dead guy. Light the torch. There's the Brak Nurr. There's nothing. And this chest is probably trapped, if I had to guess. No, guess not. I know this. Open with the peasant's key. But I think I get more skills if I use the... Oh, the lockmaker knew what he was doing. It's beyond my ability. Alright. Alright. Did I explore the whole place? Oh, there's somewhere to go on the opposite side of me, apparently. Someone ahead shouted, hurrying down the corridor to see what the cause of the commotion was. Locklear was halted by an angry-looking dwarf. No further, lad. I don't care what Natter may or may not have told you about what is going on down here. We've enough to clear out this mess without you interfering. Now go back the way you came and let us get about our work. When the dwarf couldn't be reasoned with, Locklear looped back down the corridor. Way back. This is the exit, I think. That's a dead end. I must have went down that way and it was a dead end. Alright. I don't know whether you be coming or going, lads, but you're looking for a way through the Mac to Elvendar. You're out of luck. Fault me, if you will, for courage's sake, or call me a drunkard bull, but I've as fast a hammer hand as any of these mountains. I can of clear away several months of Bracknar burrowing in a eye blink, you know. If Elvendar you must see, then come back in a month or so, and perhaps we may have broke through, or is there something else you're wanting? Lark's room. Who or what was Ruarg, and what was in his chamber? I overheard someone talking about him. Overheard my toes, you've been poking about, haven't you? No harm in it, though. Ruarg was a grand beastie, a dragon. For centuries, he lived here in Mordain, and he passed on at last near 10 years ago. I've heard our King Dolan say the elven consort Thomas was present when Ruarg passed on, but I'm scarce to believe it. The chamber is a marvel, though. Buried somewhere beyond where our digging is at the moment. At one time, there was quite a bit of treasure there, and an unfortunate large amount of it was concealed in chests with Mordain word locks, and perhaps there may still be. Come back later, and mayhap we'll see it together. Word locks. What's a Mordain word lock? A more bastardly lock never there has been crafted, not by dwarf nor man. It's got little wheels, and when a body turns, what a body turns. Each representing a letter of the alphabet. In order to open the chest, you've got to make the letter spell out a word what the lock designer had in mind to open it. Most of the clue plate attached to the front, what's written in Mordain, in case the lockmaker forgets the word. Of course, the clue plate's of no use to the vast majority of the kingdom folk, written in bloody Mordain. You do armor repair now, bud? Yeah, no, cannot. I'll leave it to your work. My pleasure. But if you excuse me, most certainly we'll be on our way as well. And we leave. Light guided them. Following the ascending shaft of the Mordain Cadal into daylight, they emerge at last on the road leading to the east of the King's Highway. Oh, my torch sure makes this a little washed out. Put the torch out. Can I put the torch out? I think it'll just light another torch if I double click it. Hey, it worked. Right. Let's rest until healed. Point ourselves south, that's where we're going. Give the game a save, and I think that's enough. Betrayal at Krondor for episode 1. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for likes and subscribes and pushing all the buttons. We'll see you probably tomorrow for probably 2 more hours of Betrayal at Krondor for episode 2. Peace, I love you. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.